Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/rive to receive the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
This continues to go through a number of changes as a public company. We know that revenue has dropped dramatically over the last couple of years. Now the company's under pressure in the US from regulators who seem to be circling from a number of different directions. But at the same time, other parts of the world are opening up. So what's the future of Coinbase? I want to go through 5 predictions, and we're going to get some answers to a few of these in just a couple of weeks when the company reports earnings. My name is Travis William. Thanks for watching Rive Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And let's get to the first thing that I think is going to happen with Coinbase. Even after all the news in the US recently, I think Coinbase stays in the US, and I think this continues to be a really big market for the company. At the same time, I think Coinbase is probably going to spend a lot of time and money in court fighting the SEC and other regulators. We've seen just in the last couple of weeks that not only are regulators coming after Coinbase, but Congress seems to be actually coming after regulators, questioning what they're doing, shutting down banks that are related to cryptocurrency, and then putting pressure on companies like Coinbase. So this is going to be a long battle, but I think it's one that Coinbase will probably win, even if it has to result in some sort of new legislation from Congress. So definitely is something to keep an eye on, but I don't think they're going to be leaving the US anytime soon. The second is I think USDC, or the USDC stablecoin, is going to be the company's biggest single revenue source in 2023. If you're not familiar with this, Coinbase is a 50% owner in what's called the Center Consortium, which runs the USDC stablecoin with Circle. The consortium has assets which are then kept in bank accounts and in US treasuries and earns interest. As interest rates have gone up, that means that interest income has gone up as well, and interest rates continue to keep rising. And that's only good news for Coinbase, who is generating hundreds of millions of dollars in interest income from this USDC stablecoin. Now, we don't know exactly what the number is because that's not completely disclosed from Coinbase, but I think it could be on the order of $800 million in revenue this year alone. That's a ton of money coming into Coinbase and is on top of the interest income the company is going to get from the more than $5 billion in cash that's on the balance sheet. So this is going to be a bigger piece of the business than you might realize, especially if interest rates stay as high as they are. My third prediction that's a little bit more out there is that I think Coinbase is going to acquire one of the NFT marketplaces. NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are really a key to the crypto ecosystem because instead of being a fungible token like Bitcoin or Ethereum where you can trade it around and any single token is going to be the exact same as any other, an NFT gives you the ownership of some sort of specific digital asset. And I think on the blockchain, that's going to be a bigger and bigger piece of the value the blockchain adds. Coinbase has effectively fallen on its face with its own marketplace, which it launched last year. But now the other marketplaces that are out there are facing their own pressure because revenue has effectively gone to zero in a lot of cases as there's become pressure on their transaction fees, and even royalties have come under pressure. So that gives a company like Coinbase an opportunity to acquire one of these marketplaces at an attractive rate and say, hey, we don't have to make money off of the marketplace itself because we're making money elsewhere. But it will be better to have a marketplace under our own ecosystem, under the Coinbase ecosystem, than it is to be relying on other marketplaces. I think that could potentially be a really big advantage for Coinbase, adding to the services that it's offering to customers, and it doesn't even have to make money off of them. So look for that. Maybe one of the bigger names gets a little bit financially desperate as their revenue sources dry up, and Coinbase is able to make a nice offer and acquire one of them. The fourth thing is I think as the US comes under more pressure, we're going to see other markets open up. The UK and Hong Kong are two that I'm going to keep an eye on. Expect a lot of questions about that in the coming conference call from Coinbase's management. But those are two countries that are very wealthy, have a lot of money and a lot of interest in growing in cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. And Coinbase is going to be there to provide those services that those countries need. I think that could drive a lot of growth for the company. And with everything that we've seen in the last couple of years with the collapse of FTX, with the questions around Binance, I think Coinbase is really well positioned to be a safe company for a lot of people to get into cryptocurrency in those markets. So look for those to be increasingly important and potentially drive the US to respond and open up to cryptocurrency and Coinbase in the future. And the final thing, this is a little bit more short-term in nature, but I think Coinbase's cash level is actually going to be flat quarter over quarter. Now, this is really critical because Coinbase has a lot of cash on the balance sheet, but it's losing money. So the question for investors is, how quickly is it burning through that cash, and can it get through this crypto winter, as they call it, to brighter days sometime in the future? But with the increase in the value of Bitcoin, with rising interest rates, with cost reductions that Coinbase has already put into effect over the last few quarters, I think it's possible that the cash level on Coinbase's balance sheet and the free cash flow could be about flat. And that would be great news for the company long term, but because it means that the company was able to get its cost structure under control extremely quick. But we'll see where this ends up in just a few weeks. Coinbase reports earnings early in May, so I'll be back here covering that. But I'd love to hear what you think about these predictions, what you think about Coinbase stock right now. This is one that I own and continue to see a bright future in. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you here next time.